Hey everybody, welcome in. Happy day. Today we are talking about how to scale faster. Now, there is some context to this. So, we're not just talking about scaling in general, scaling the entire business. What we're talking about is how to scale your best offer. Now, if you haven't figured out your best offer yet, that's not a big deal. We've got a class coming up next week. If you want to sign up for that, go to getquirked.co/class, and you can do that right now. If you haven't signed up for the class yet, here's a brief synopsis of what you're going to get. We're going to go over the process of defining your best offer. We're going to get you on the roadmap to a more focused environment for your business and your offerings. And then we're going to go over a little bit about how to create profit maximizers, or what we call back-end offers, and how to scale those guys up, and then build out a referral process. This is everything that we're doing in the Ultimate Offer Blueprint program, just kind of at a higher level. So instead of having to pay $2,000 to go through the course right now, you can just hop on this class call, and it will be about an hour and a half to 2 hours. But we're going to go over all of those things. So if you want to hop in, just join register by going to getquirked.co/class. Okay, so how do we scale your best offer? Now, once you've defined your best offer, and to give you a quick recap there, your best offer is one, it's a deliverable you already provide, so we're not looking to reinvent the wheel here. We really want to focus in on what you're already doing. We just want to find the one that's making you the most amount of profit, highest net profit. It is sustainable, meaning you can build systems around it or hand it over to somebody in a delegation kind of format, or automating it. It is easy to sell. And that fourth one, oh man, that's important and near and dear to my heart. So that is really the energizer factor. You want to be energized by the work you do. I know I do. That's why I do what I do. I absolutely love marketing. I love helping businesses figure out the best ways to market themselves and see a profit from that marketing. We want to see that return on investment. Ain't that the truth? Everybody, every time, wants to see that return on investment. So how do we scale that best offer once you've figured it out, which one is your best offer that of all the products and services you provide? There's a couple different ways we can do that. Well, one of them is to offer it to more people. Yes, make more offers. Our old buddy Frank Kern, he loves to say that the amount of offers and goodwill that you put out there in the world is directly proportionate to the money that you make, the revenue that you generate and profits you generate. I wholeheartedly agree with him because it's proven to be true for me. So the more times I offer our products and services to customers, and this is for any number of businesses and even clients' businesses, the more offers we make, the more sales we tend to make. So now I will put a caveat to this. This is not the old, if I get in front of more people, I will make more sales, because that math just doesn't work. That is an old sales mentality, and it is not often proven to be successful in the sense that you have a percentage of sales that you make currently. So you're currently, let's say you're offering it to 100 people a month, and you are currently making 2 of those. You're closing a 2% sales in a month, 2% of your sales. 2% of your pipeline, let's say. So if you expand that to 1,000 or 10,000 people without changing the process and the attraction method and the close in the sale, then you're still likely going to be seeing a 2%. So the statement is true that if you get in front of more people, you will make more sales. However, the statement is not true that you will proportionately make more or disproportionately make more sales to the number of people that you get in front of, because you haven't changed anything about the process. So this is where a lot of people and a lot of business owners get it wrong. It's not just about getting in front of people; it's getting in front of the right people with the right offer at the right time. Now, this is something that we have helped business owners with in the past. We build systems to help facilitate all of this. So, if you think about it from that mentality, you want to get in front of the right people at the right time with the right offer. Your best offer, in the process of defining your best offer, you're going to start asking questions and finding the answers out pretty quickly about who your best buyer is. What is the buying criteria that I need to, meaning you, that we need to set or explain to them before they are willing to make a sale. Now, these are things that are often left off the table because we think our shit don't stink. Forgive my language, but that's the truth. You know, we think, hey, I got a thing I want to do for people, and they're going to buy it because I want to provide it, and that just does not work. That you might get one or two sales that way. You might be a smooth talker and might be able to convince a few people, but when you start scaling up and getting in front of people who are maybe on the cusp of making a decision or don't even know that they have a problem, then you're looking at a completely different process and a completely different close rate than what you would have been if you had taken the time to identify and designate markers, if you will, little identification pieces that make up your best buyer. So, first and foremost, you got to identify that. Before you start scaling anything, you got to know exactly who you're speaking to, where they live online, where they live in the real world if you're selling face-to-face, or in a crowd group setting. Maybe you're a speaker, and maybe that's how you make all your sales. So, we typically lean towards digital marketing. We do incorporate some physical bases there, but only when applicable to the target audience in question. So the group of best buyers that we have identified. So it's highly important that you get that best buyer identification criteria down. And we want to think about this from a couple different angles. We want to think about it from a demographic standpoint. So age, location, profession maybe. And then we also want to think about it from a psychographical standpoint, in the sense of what does this person look for and feel when he or she is making a decision to go with a specific brand or company or product or service. And then lastly, we also want to look at the stages of which these people make these types of decisions. So there's always an awareness level. There is always a desired intent. So they become problem aware. So some people, let's even start before that. Some people are not problem aware, but they are aware of they're doing a thing and that they want to do it better, whatever that is. So they become aware of a need, but they don't really know what that need is or how to fix it or even what the problem is. So then we walk them through identifying the problem. And then the next phase is now they have become problem aware. They have identified the problem that they're trying to solve for. And then the next phase, there's a couple kind of wavers back and forth depending on what you're actually dealing with. But the next phase typically is where we help make them solution aware. So we've explained to them about the problem. We've explained to them how we can help the problem, or how people like them have fixed the problem in the past. And then we can point out our solution. So they are now solution aware. And they are then us aware. So they become sort of ingratiated into who you are, who your company is, and in brand aware. And then they get to that decision-making phase. And if you have done a really good job of building goodwill and trust with them throughout those four or five previous phases, then you're going to hit the nail on the head and close the sale no problem. If at any point you have not sold them on that particular phase, whether that is problem awareness, solution awareness, you awareness, then you're going to have a harder time closing the sale because you haven't built that trust and rapport yet. So this is why it's super important that before we scale, we know exactly how to do that, and we know exactly what triggers to hit within people to make that possible. So how do we do that? Well, we ask people. We just ask them. A lot of times, what we find with our clients is that we ask the question, well, have you done any sort of survey for your best buyers to understand exactly either existing, what made them become a customer, what was the problem, what was life like before you came into the picture, and then how was the engagement, what happened in the middle when you guys were working together, and now that you have solved the problem, what does life look like for that person? When we interview best buyers that have already gone through the process, what we find are key points and words that they use about themselves that we can use in marketing and advertising to help sell the fact that we can define their problem to them better than they can define it to themselves or describe it to themselves. Now, this is super important because this is where that trigger happens, and this is where everyone kind of falls short. Well, not everyone. Some people, most people, fall short on exactly how to flip the switch, so to speak. So once you have been able to define and describe a prospect's problem to them better than they can to themselves, then you're pretty much 90% of the way there. Now it's just about showing them that you are trustworthy, that they can put their trust and hard-earned money into you so that you can help solve their problem. Now remember, you're not the hero of this story. They are the hero. So we need to present the ideas in the way that we are the guide. So we want to make sure that we are presenting a plan to them that resonates with them, that they can see themselves implementing and taking action with, as well as kind of make them think that they thought of it themselves. So there's a little bit of psychology here in how you word things, but for the most part, it's just common language. It's just talking to people. We get caught up in making things perfect, and nothing is ever perfect. I love to say this, the only constant in the universe is change. So if perfection is ever a thing to exist, it won't be there for more than a split second, because there is no such thing as perfect in a existence that is constantly changing, So let's get into this process of identifying your best offer, your best buyer, your best buyer's buying criteria, those demographics, psychographics, and behaviorals. We call it the from thorns to roses in the journey of from pain to perfect day. Get into defining those things for your best buyers, and then we can talk about how you scale. So, defining all of those things, get those things under wraps. Scaling is a lot easier than most people think, but you got to do it in a very particular way. You can't do it in a way that focuses on just going hard and fast, big and bold, right in there. You really need to focus on slow growth and making sure that any changes that you make along the way, whether that is to budget as you're scaling, and a lot of times we find that the best way to scale and test the scalability of something is to put money behind it, so paid ads. But another good way is to just get in front of a whole bunch of people. So if you start doing this content first and value giving and goodwill building, then you will get in front of more and more people. And if you start making offers in all of these video contents or posts or whatever you're doing, in our case, we're doing these live on Facebook, and then we share the videos out on Instagram TV, IGTV, as well as YouTube, and then we'll sometimes break them up into stories and put them on the Get Quirked Instagram stories, little reel, and see how that performs. Now, what we found is that you're exponentially getting in front of more and more people, not just the ones that follow you. So we've, on a couple of our recent live videos, we've gotten reach well into the thousands range, and that has been amazing to watch because we don't have a massive following on Facebook. We don't have a massive following on any platform, but the following that we do have is the right following. So it's not about the numbers of people you have following you on these platforms. It's about what these platforms can do for you. So if you don't want to put any more money behind it, but you got time to kill and time to spare, then you can really focus in on creating content on a consistent basis that people understand the schedule. So if we say we're going to go live every day, we damn well better go live every day and follow that and keep it consistent. You won't see results right away, but you will see results over time, and that's what's important. The consistency factor is something that you have to win at because your competition will fail. Not everyone can stay consistent in doing something for a long time, but if you are truly into using social media and using the internet to boost your sales and boost your exposure, then maintaining consistency is the number one factor where most people fall off. If you can just maintain consistency in whatever you're doing to get your offers out there into the world, I guarantee you will shine far and away above everyone else in your space because you remained consistent. That's it. You just got to remain consistent and do the damn thing every single day, or whatever cadence is that you find. On YouTube, you might do it once a week, do a new video, and you might SEO the hell out of it. And so, it takes time to produce the video. It takes time to do some research and build up all those keywords, make sure you're hitting all that stuff. But yeah, so organically just remain consistent. Now, if you're also advertising on those platforms, a little known tip that no one really publicizes, well, some people publicize it. Digital Marketer actually did a study on this, and they found a correlation. Now, their study was done in relation to Facebook ads and Facebook organic posting, but they found a positive correlation between accounts that were tied to a page that was active, so they were posting content daily, and the page didn't have that many followers, I think just a couple hundred. So it's not big, not a big number of followers, but the correlation that they found was for ads that were running for those pages under their ad account that was tied to that page, when they were posting organic posts, they saw a positive increase in the amount of people they were converting, and a positive correlation with lower cost per acquisition. So that meant that the cost to acquire a new lead was going down, and the number of leads was going up. When they literally did the same thing, and they just didn't post anything organically, they saw just a stagnant growth. So it was steady, but it wasn't, they didn't get the exponential boost that they were looking for in the first test of doing organic plus paid. So keep that in mind. And if you don't know how to do paid media on Facebook ads or any ads platform online, hit us up in the comments. We can definitely hook you up with the right people. If it's not us, we got plenty of friends in the industry that do this for any type of business at any budget. Typically we like to start at a $5,000 a month investment. So this is it's not going to be something that'll break the bank for our best buyers. Our best buyers are making anywhere in between $500,000 to $5 million per year annually in revenue. So it's not going to be something that breaks the bank, but it will be a nice investment. And in order to see the positive results, you need to do some testing. So going back to what I was saying earlier about going slow, you never just want to throw like $500 into a brand new campaign online. Whatever that is. That can be, if you're boosting posts or if you're running ads, don't go guns a-blazing with $500 on day one, because you got to warm the ad account up, and 2, you got to warm the audience up, and 3, you got to let whatever platform you're advertising on do some finagling with their algorithm to make sure that they're showing your ads to the right people. So what we typically like to do for Facebook ads, we will start out at $5 a day, and we will start scaling that no more than 20% per day, as long as we're seeing a positive increase in leads generated, or whatever the outcome is. Sometimes it's click to call, sometimes it is download a thing or sign up for this, whatever it is. So whatever the metric or the goal that you're trying to achieve, as long as you're seeing positive results, go ahead and start scaling. But you don't want to scale more than once per day, and you never want to scale more than 20% of your entire budget at a time. So if we're looking at starting at $5 a day, you don't want to go over really $1.25, $1.50 maybe in a boost. So keep that in mind as you scale, because that you're going to blow it out of the water. Facebook's not really going to know what to do, or any ad platform, because what they're trying to do is they'll start with a wide net, and then they will narrow it down into people who actually are interested in you and in what you have to offer. And then they will start narrowing it down even further to people who are actually taking action, and then people who look like those people that are taking action. So, very powerful to start small and grow over time. And you will hit a threshold for which your ads no longer work at any budget. And that's when it's time to change out the presentation of the offer. Now, what we do to kind of avoid this, or learn in the front end, and then kind of run these things in cycles, is we will test with some people do this, I can't remember the name of the rule that they follow, but I think it's 3-5-9. So they'll have 3 ad sets with 5 unique ads in each, or no, that's wrong. 5 ad sets with 9 ads within each ad set, and then start turning them off as any one of those 9 don't perform. What we like to do is we start with a total of 16. So we will do 1 ad creative, or 4 ad creatives, the same body copy, and the same headline. Or in some cases, we will test more than that. We'll do 4 different headlines with 4 images, and we will test those and run them all as unique, individualized ad sets on Facebook. It's just a platform thing. Not super familiar if you can do this on AdWords or display networks, but you guys can deal with that as you test things out. And that the best thing about this is you learn so much by identifying what's working on the front end, that even if you turn everything off minus the one that's performing the best, you now at least have results working backwards from the positive, that when that best performing ad starts to decline, you can spin up the next one in the chain and start working that one up and growing it as you're scaling the other one down. Because what we find is that you'll hit a threshold of advertising dollars that you're putting in, budget, that it just won't work anymore. Facebook can't keep finding you new people to get in front of that are willing to take the action that you're asking them to take. So they will still start spending more money and try and show it to more people, because they're like, well, it's not an exact match, but it's close enough, and this guy's giving us money, so we probably should spend it. And that's what you don't want to do. You don't want them just going willy-nilly outside of your best buyer audience. You want to stay really tight-knit. But you got to let the platform figure out what that tight-knit actually means from their perspective. So that's why we'll hit a threshold, we'll scale it back a little bit while we start spinning up another one. And then when they get about neck and neck, you can turn that first one off and let the other one grow and take over the audience. And then you just keep doing that. So you scale one up, starts to scale down, you scale the other one up, and so on and so on. It's not rocket science, but it does take time and it does take patience. So this is basically how you scale any offer to any audience, anywhere. It doesn't matter if it's organic or if it's you're adding paid component to it, but what you really want to see is that performance level. So you got to know your metrics of success. You got to understand how you're measuring those metrics, and you got to understand whatever platform you're using to present these offers and present this scaled offer on. So, highly important to do that. Look, if you're interested in learning more about this with your specific business in mind, go over to getquirked.co/class and sign up for our live presentation, our live class, and we will help you identify what your best offer is, who your best buyers are, what back-end offers you can utilize to maximize the profits of both your front-end offer and your back-end offer, teach you how to scale both of them, as well as help you build referral programs to get even more of your best buyers in. So if that sounds like fun and something valuable and helpful for you, go ahead and get over there right now. Register. We will be having our first session of the class in about a week or so. And yeah, so just go over to getquirked.co/class and go ahead and sign up. That's it for me today, y'all. You have a wonderful one. Get out there, leave us some comments and love below. If you're watching this on the replay, then go ahead and give us a thumbs up on whatever platform you're watching it on. And if you're watching on YouTube and you want to get notified when we add these new videos every single week, then please subscribe to the channel and hit that little bell icon to make sure you get notified when we do. All right, y'all. Talk to you soon. Have a wonderful day.